told they never make it past 5 episodes. Well, here those podcast jerks are, back for season 2. The Boys in the Woods podcast. The show your mother warned you about, and that your dad was hiding in the basement listening to. Get ready for the Boys in the Woods podcast.
It's back again.
What up, what up?
Charles, we had a fantastic recording with Principle of Comedy.
The Principle of Comedy, Mr. Eddie Gorton. Yeah, that was a great show, man. I love talking to people around the country. I love when we talk to people around the world too. But
hell yeah. Make sure you check that out coming up Tuesday.
Well, that'll be coming up on Tuesday. And also you can find all of our cool gear, all of our neat things, cool sayings, pity paps, and knickknacks at Boys in the Woods 906.shop. Boys in the Woods 906.shop.
Yeah, I got to get me one of them tumblers. And then I've got this padded workspace here, Charles, and I want a couple of those coasters because I think that my soda pop yes, it needs to be sitting.
Those coasters look neat. Yeah, I need to pick one. I think, and they were like $6 for 2, I think. It's really not bad. If you want to be out there looking Bucci, we got Bucci gear for you. We got bougie gear for you. But you know, we got some Adidas embroidered gear on there. It's real nice. So go check it out there. Go check it out. That's Boys in the Woods 906.shop. That's Boys in the Woods 906.shop. So the coaching
carousel has finally come to full completion, correct?
The coaching fiasco is over. Something I did want to mention too, real quick, just off the top. I was watching some Premier League soccer matches. I was watching Manchester United versus Wolf. I tell you, that was probably one of. I mean, I don't know if Manchester United's coach is going to be too happy. They did end up walking away with the win. They got the points. They're still in 7th. Wolves in 11th. I mean, they're climbing. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be their season.
They take that really seriously, though.
Like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah. I mean, it was an intense match. It was 2-0.
2-0
coming out of half. 2-0 coming out of half. And then just a ghost penalty. It went to VR. They ended up calling it. I mean, because there was contact, but oh boy, it was soft. So a PK came, and oh boy, now you're gonna have to forgive me on the names. He plays for Wolf. He's number 7. Dude is an elite player. In about a 25-minute span, I watched this dude score, I think, 3 times. Okay. I mean, it was, dude, I'm telling you, it was nuts. The end of this ended up being insane. You could not take your eyes away. Manchester United ended up coming out and winning, but it was 2-1. And then Manchester, it was like every time Wolf scored, bro, literally every time Wolf scored at the end, Man United ended up going, oh, wait a minute, we're supposed to win this game. So then they would take the ball down the pitch and they would score in this immaculate fashion, and then try to play the worst type of clock management keep away I've seen in a Premier League in my entire life of watching, which isn't very long, but when we're talking Man United here, it was crazy. I mean, the score ended up being 4-3 at the end. I mean, it was 2-0 coming out of half. Should have been 3-0 going into half. Well, should have been 3-0 coming out of half. They ended up getting that third one, but yeah, they ended up having 2 subs came in late, and both of those subs came in and scored. And the first one was kind of, I guess, from listening to it, it happens often. When you get a sub that comes onto the pitch, at times in a chaotic situation, the defense lapses. Nobody really communicated correctly on Wolf on who was picking that guy up. He ended up walking down in and getting an easy header. Yeah. Didn't get a lot of head on it, but got it into a position and got the, it was a
little brush off the tip there. Yeah.
So it was nice. And then the 19-year-old, Man United's got some 19-year-olds, Milano.
They're
bro, that dude
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that dude was scary. I mean, the way he weaved in and out, and then it was so weird. I mean, the Wolf defenders, it was like the perfect storm had kind of opened up in the eye and just left the dude a little bit of space, and he got an immense amount of power on that kick. It was really nice to watch. It was super exciting. I was glad I got to see it. So, but
yeah, we talked about that if they don't play well, like you said, that goal differential, like you said, it should have been 3-0. And you're saying you can't, like you said, it's almost like they realize, oh shit, this team's coming back on us. We can't let that, because we need to have at least a 2-goal, finish here. We can't have this. And then it's 4-3.
Yeah. I mean, and it was 2-0. Like I said, could have been 3-0 going into half. Should have been 3-0 coming out of half. And then Wolf gets the 1, and then Wolf ends up tying it at 3 in plus time. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, damn.
Dude, I'm serious. Like, it was 3-3 with 4 minutes left.
4 minutes left. Yeah.
4 minutes left of plus time, dude, of stoppage time. I'm sorry. Maybe 4 minutes left of stoppage time. And then, oh boy, 19-year-old comes, just like I said, it was just so magical. It was weird to watch, but
where, Charles,
I mean, 5 goals in that last 20 minutes. I mean,
yeah. Do you think there's a bar in Wisconsin that like they get as excited about it? I mean, because I know
yes,
Milwaukee used to have a club, right? Milwaukee had a club.
Well, I mean, every time I go to Taco Burrito Mexico in Green Bay, they got soccer on. So really? I love that.
But, I mean, like I'm talking about, I want the experience of walking into a pub.
Oh, like a pub style experience. Yeah. There is a couple of them. I know Man City came over.
They had a huge following.
They had a huge
Packers at Lambeau.
Yeah. I mean, I think they had a match at Lambeau Field, didn't they?
Yes, they did last summer. I
believe. Yeah. So I believe that we'll be doing that again. I can't fucking wait, dude.
If they do, you got to get a hold. We got to go there.
We're going. There's no questions asked. We're going. We'll jump the fence if we got to. We're going.
Where the cameras are coming out. I mean, if we got to go there, I mean, I need a jersey. I got to get myself a.
Yeah, we'll go. I'm going to go in my which is totally normal, but I'm going to go in my Beast Buy. Lionel Messi shirt. It's not a Best Buy. It's a Beast Buy. My Wish.com Messi jersey.
I just want to apologize to one in particular listener, Brent. I'm sorry that Charles and I got into it, and the audio for you was like me screaming in your ear like a witch's tit. But I said to him, Charles and I get into it. I said, at least you get both sides of the perspective. And he's like, I agree with Charles. He goes, I agree that they should have went for it, but only if they would have got it. And I was like, hey, I listened to myself talk, and I listened to the podcast last episode, and I was like, it is kind of cringy. And then I was like, I get why Charles gets irritated with me sometimes, because neither one of us want to give up. And then when you bring facts, I get worse about my take, and you sit there and go, bro, just drop it, bro. And I was like, to Brett, I'm like, I understand. I get it.
He sent me a message, dude. He goes,
did he?
The crazy part is, bro, is you two aren't even Lions fans. You're fucking Packers fans.
Me too. He's like, you guys aren't even Lions fans.
I said, we're passionate football. We're passionate sports fans. Right. If you get us on a topic and you want us to talk about that topic, we're going to talk about it like we've been fans for 20 years. That's how you got to do it, right?
Charles, he goes, the worst thing about it, he goes, is that you brought up the 7 points of the score, and you're like, I don't see a problem here. You go, it's a 3-score game either way. And he goes, you immediately jump down Charles's throat, and he goes, Charles got defensive, and he goes, then you guys both backed away and tried to change the subject. But he goes, a minute later, it came back up again. And I was like, it happens like that sometimes. Sometimes it happens like that. Not all the time, but sometimes.
No, and I mean, and we even touched a little bit on the end of the episode. You in the sports world is passionate. For God's sakes, there's passion in everything, right? Taylor Swift has brought just Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce brought an influx of $331.5 million to the NFL/Kansas City Chiefs organization this year. You get passion.
That's why I put out the meme of, we know who Roger Goodell is cheering for in this scenario.
And we're talking about passion too. I mean, you want to see passion. Let's go to a soccer pub. I mean, so the rivalry that we know that is like Michigan, Ohio State, right?
Pales in comparison to anything.
I mean, that's got to be the rivalry in college sports, right? Or in American sports. I don't know a rivalry that is still going so strong right now.
Someone told me you probably might have told me this, that the viewership numbers that they get for like their rivalry matches over there in like England and Ireland and stuff like that, those pale our US playoff games pale in comparison, and those are just regular season matches for them.
rugby has a following of 800 million globally.
Yeah, and I mean
the NFL has 180 million globally.
Yeah,
it does not matter. You can turn it to literally any rugby match ever, and the stadium is filled more than one of the best bowl games in college football. It's like, okay, I mean, and I get it though. I get it for American sports to be what they are today. They had to diminish the worldwide sports program. They had to. Yeah. Because are you kidding me? I mean, if Americans grew up with soccer the way the rest of the world does, we would not be watching football. I'm telling you.
Oh, God,
there's something about soccer. I mean, and it's the one thing I hear most often is, oh, it's so boring. Like, I don't know, man.
It's not boring. You have to understand the game. And I think a lot of people don't. And you need to be explained to them. Because I mean, we've been trying to get into
I've been watching LeBron James flop way worse than any of these soccer players over the last couple of years. I mean, the NBA in its own sense is
I wanted to ask you something, Charles.
It's about a way better product.
The Chicago F1 deal. So what in particular is going on with this? You said Chicago.
So let me pull up a couple of things. So F1 racing put in for licensing in Chicago.
The circuit in Chicago.
Yeah. So could F1 be eyeing a race in Chicago? And this was a few days ago.
Right.
They apply for race trademarking. Let's go. Let's see. And I mean, the Chicago, the local Chicago news is eating this up. So 5 days ago, MSN and a few other affiliates kind of broke the news. 3 days ago now, you've got places like NBC5 Chicago, ABC7 News Chicago. They're all talking about it now also. So Formula One is taking the first steps towards Chicago Grand Prix. I'm super excited about this. There doesn't appear to be the city of Chicago could be hosting another street race or not. The licensing arm has registered several trademarks, all to secure names for a race in the Windy City. They include Formula One Grand Prix of Chicago, Grand Prix of Chicago, Chicago Grand Prix, and Formula One Chicago Grand Prix. All names were registered last week. While trademark names can be registered without committing to any event, the move could be the first step towards another race in the U.S. F1 returned to the U.S. in 2012 with the U.S. GP at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. In the ensuing years, they've added a race in Miami and last season staged an inaugural Las Vegas GP, which by many measures was a big success. Now, that's funny to hear that because on the social side of it, on the like POV views from Instagram, yada, 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 there was small portions that didn't seem to be getting it right at all. And in fact, a major issue with the track itself and the locals. But through all of that noise, it seems like the Las Vegas Grand Prix was not only a success in those that ran its eyes, which I believe T-Mobile has a lot to do with that. So T-Mobile customers will get special access via Magenta programs, yada, yada, yada. So that's exciting. That's exciting to see. F1's popularity in America has exploded thanks in large part to the Netflix series Drive to Survive, and F1's commercial rights owner, Liberty Media, has been eager to build on that popularity. I mean, F1 racing is growing. I love it. I love the spectacles. I hate the fact that things in America right now are reaching the 5,000 to six-figure mark in order for you to deep dive into these situations. So I'm really, really hoping that F1 kind of sticks to their shit here. And
right, you can only imagine
they don't American beautify it.
Could cost them in the U.S. You know, it's gonna be big.
Absolutely,
I'd love to see it though. Love to see it.
But I'll be excited. Gosh, it would be It would be just the bee's knees to get that close to a race, because otherwise we're looking at Miami or Las Vegas. And I know the wife wants to go to Las Vegas, but I'm hearing I want to wait for that Las Vegas one for a couple more years. Vegas, huh? Yeah. I want to wait a couple more years. Because your first couple times setting that event up, it's going to be terrible in the sense of traffic, getting around, going from A to B, where to go, where to be. After a few years, you know, you think of it like what are those called? You've got this river, and I believe there are tributaries that break off. Jesus, I've not been in environmental science in a long time, but anyways, those things that break off, we'll call them streams. They can turn into rivers in their own sense. It just takes time and a continued path, just as we talked about with Mr. Gordon. 10,000 hours, 9.5 years to be perfect at something. So the more the Las Vegas crew gets to do this, the better it's going to be as the years come on. And I mean, let's be honest, Las Vegas is a spectacle in its own sense. So anything that goes to Las Vegas and becomes its own thing is definitely worth seeing. The Super Bowl, when it was in New York, the Super Bowl, when it's anywhere else, is its own thing. But when the Super Bowl outside of that couple blocks that it was in, New York was just New York, right? It appeared that when F1 went to Vegas, Vegas became F1. So when you could do that in a place like Vegas, watch out.
I think Vegas adopts every sporting event that comes there. Like, they embrace it with open arms, like the Super Bowl, the golf events that they have there, the Golf World Tour, whatever the hell that is called. Vegas usually shows out for whatever event is there.
Absolutely. Now, to kind of end this on an actual pretty positive note, I think. So nothing's going to happen this year.
Well, no, years, yeah.
Well, that's what I thought. Here's the positive side of this. Check this out. So F1 has already announced their 2024 schedule, and NASCAR also did. However, neither sanctioning body has revealed anything for 2025 yet. So this speculation could continue for months. Should NASCAR return to the streets of Chicago in 2025? Given the road closures that come with the setup on a street course, it would make sense to use that same course for an F1 event. For now, at least F1 owns the rights to a race in Chicago, at least the name. So that'll be exciting. We're definitely going to keep eyes on that for sure. Also, Lewis Hamilton switching from Mercedes to Ferrari. I mean, Lewis Hamilton is a champion. He has done many, many, many wonderful things. And I believe there's been speculation about him leaving the last couple of years and nothing came into fruition. It finally happened.
There's got to be some bitterness going on there. I mean, you don't usually go to your rival.
Yeah. I mean, and Ferrari, from my understanding, I mean, the thing, okay, so just walking into this as an American, Red Bull has dominated. Red Bull has dominated. I think the last time as an American, I remember hearing much about Ferrari at this point was that movie that just came out when Ford beat their ass in the 24-hour race, which I happened to see that exact car at the Henry Ford Museum. Absolutely gorgeous
movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Very good movie. But that was like, okay. And you don't now here coming up in America, we are getting a movie called Ferrari. I'm probably going to have to go watch that now to learn a little bit more about Ferrari, because
we'll do a movie review.
One of the main things about this in that movie is that if you're going to drive a Ferrari car, you're going to be a winner, or we're going to get rid of you. Well, clock's ticking, Ferrari.
Ding, 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 ding.
Clock's ticking, Ferrari. So we'll see what happens. Now let's jump on this coaching carousel. Carousel. We gotta talk a little bit about the NFL. They do have 180 million global listeners, so
very correct. I mean,
what's one of your biggest takeaways from this coaching carousel?
The biggest takeaway or not takeaway? I mean, the biggest takeaway is that Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick are unemployed right now, I think, and Vrabel. I mean, good Lord. I never would have thought that. Well, I mean, Vrabel's not technically not unemployed. I mean, he just doesn't have a team yet. I'm sure somebody's going to pick him up for something, regardless what it is.
Do you remember me? I'm not sure where we talked about this, but do you remember me telling you that the NFL is getting younger?
Yeah.
Is that ownership wants these new young minds, these new innovative creators, these designers of the motion, these designers of disguises. You know what I'm saying? The masters of disguises. It's
the players got to be able to relate to the coach as well, and the way things are changing.
Yeah,
the players are leaving as juniors, and
Matt Stafford. That thing came out this year about Matt Stafford not being able to connect with the players, and he's the damn quarterback in the locker room.
And he's not that old either. He's only like 34.
No, you know what I'm saying? I mean, now you've got Mike McDonald going to Seattle. Congratulations, Mike McDonald. What a wonderful story Mike McDonald has been. We've loved seeing it. We've loved watching you. We loved what you did in Michigan. It was
I like that Harbaugh basically helped him out in his interview too. He said, that guy is going to be a head coach someday. That guy should be your head coach. And I'm glad that he got Seattle because maybe you can bring back some.
Well, and he's a huge players coach. Now he's coming from the Harbaugh trees.
Correct.
Both brothers, right? And something that I've heard significantly about Mr. McDonald is how much the players resonate with this individual. I think Seattle may have gotten their tenure. I like Mike McDonald. He's a defensive-minded coach in an offensive league right now. Yeah. But something, so the league changes often. It's ebbs and flows. And this coaching cycle, we saw a hell of a lot of defensive-minded coaches come back into the head coaching position. Dan Quinn.
Well, right, because they can just hire a good offensive coordinator.
Well, that's the thought. Now, are you going to be bringing in a good OC? This is something that has been muddled by bigger media networks in the sense of, well, that head coach hired that offensive coordinator, and because of that, we need to fire the head coach and bring in a whole new staff.
Yeah.
Or if you're telling me the only damn problem is the offensive coordinator, or maybe one or two coaches on a staff of 50 fucking coaches, why don't you just let that guy try to figure out those two positions real quick, right? Because he got the other 48 just fine. Okay, so maybe, just maybe, the media can buzz off just a little bit here and allow these guys the opportunity. I mean, we have to do that with Matt LaFleur.
Well, here's the thing: that you only hear of that type of deal in these bigger market areas, because you don't hear Green Bay. You hear the fans about Green Bay like bashing on but you don't really see the local media bashing on the coaches ever in Green Bay.
Almost ever. I mean, you knew it was time when the local around here started talking about Joe Barry. I mean, they started talking about how much he's being talked about, what he hasn't accomplished, what he has accomplished. But yeah. I mean, when you've got Green Bay Nation talking about it again, the CBS Live there with Marcus Eversole and the other two there. Can't remember.
I get some of these guys' names. Like I want to hear them say their own name, because the dialect doesn't seem to fit some of these guys' names.
No. Lauren Helmbrick. That's and then the other one I can't remember his name.
Did you ever hear Larry McCarron say, like, I think it was like Paul Rubenstein or something? He was like talking about some ESPN like article. He's like, he said it really, really fast. Paul Rubenstein, and no, I'm pretty sure that's not what that is. And Rubenstein, and he's like Rubenstein, and then he like says it real quick, and then he just keeps on talking. But that's what we get in Green Bay. We get those guys. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But so Mike McDonald, we love that in Seattle. And you had mentioned too the fact that like Carroll, Belichick, Vrabel.
I guess I'm not surprised by the two of them, but the fact that Belichick had 2 interviews with Atlanta, that kind of blew me away. That I think he wanted too much control. What do you think? Were the reins too thick on the horse for Belichick to get his grips around?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And he had mentioned multiple times leading up to the presser with his release from the Patriots, including at the presser with his release from the Patriots, that he just wants to coach. I think ultimately what it comes down to is that old boy did shit without Tom Brady. He didn't do anything, and all of these places except the Chargers need a quarterback. So Bill can't do nothing without. I mean, and it.
So do you want to?
It's like how many people was Brady making a Pro Bowler?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, probably quite a few. I mean, it wasn't
because
Rodgers.
The only Pro Bowlers that Bill had since Brady left was a punt returner and a punter.
Yeah. So you're basically telling me this. I agree with you on this 1,000%. What you're telling me, and I get from what you're saying, is that Belichick's career could possibly be tainted because of the lack of him getting another job opportunity. Because people are seeing
Bill wanted to win without Brady, and that pushed Brady out of the Patriots. And Bill couldn't win without Brady. And Brady ended up winning without Bill. So, yeah, that writes the story for who Bill Belichick is. I'm sorry, but Bill Belichick was not – I mean, the way people talk about him is awesome, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, let's be realistic here. Tom Brady won those Super Bowls. What did they do the year Tom Brady was hurt? Remember that year Tom Brady broke his leg and the NFL changed a whole bunch of things because the dynasty was over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, while you're looking that stat up, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to not make a fool of myself. I'm assuming they didn't even make the playoffs. So at that point, what else would I think that's when it started for Bill. I think the rumbles started when that season without Brady went as bad as it did. And then the seasons after with Brady went as well as they did. I think Bill started to ask himself, can I win without Brady? And that's what forced the uncomfortable conversation that led Brady to Tampa Bay. Well, then Brady went off. And Tampa Bay wasn't a quarterback away from a good scenario. Let's be honest. Like before Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, nobody was like, man, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can get a quarterback, they're going to win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years.
That can't be right that they went 11-5 that year.
Did they?
That
could be right. It very well could be right. Did they lose in the first round of the playoffs?
Oh, hold on here.
Something significant happened. Like I said, I was attempting to not make a fool of myself. They may have done all right.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, they had to have done all right. They were in a division.
Maybe it was the 2008 season.
It was the 2008 season. He broke his leg.
Oh well, either way, both times they made the playoffs, but I don't understand. I don't know, but yeah, they definitely weren't the same football team without Brady. You can say Bill can coach up talent. I mean, of course, we know he can coach. They didn't win that many games just because of Brady. I mean, he can coach, but would he have won those Super Bowls without him? And I think that question is pretty fucking clear that he couldn't win them without.
Yeah, no. I wasn't wrong. They had a good record, right? Despite finishing the regular season with an 11-5 record, the Patriots did not qualify for the playoffs, becoming the first 11-win team since the expansion to a 12-team playoff in 1990 to miss the playoffs, as well as only the second team after the 1985 Denver Broncos since the NFL expanded to a 16-game regular season.
Was the
season opener saw quarterback Tom Brady, the NFL's MVP in 2007, suffer a torn fucking broke his leg, and season opening victory against the Chiefs and missed the remainder of the season. Backup quarterback Matt Castle replaced Brady. Castle led the team to a win in week 2 against the New York Jets, his first start since high school. A loss the following week against the Dolphins ended the Pats' record 21-game regular season win streak.
That's crazy.
They entered that last week of the season with a 3-game win streak, but found themselves not controlling their own destiny. In addition to week 17 win, they also needed a Dolphins loss or a Ravens loss to be a wild card.
But that doesn't make any sense. They won the Super Bowl in 2008. The Giants won in 2009. They beat the Patriots the year they went undefeated, didn't they? I'm so confused.
It's absolutely impossible if they didn't make the playoffs.
How did they not make the playoffs in 2008? I swear they won the Super Bowl.
No. 2008, the very first game, Tom Brady breaks his leg. Patriots don't make the playoffs. That's all I remember. Now, I didn't remember the significance of them not making the playoffs.
February 3rd, 2008, New England Patriots versus New York Giants Super Bowl.
Yeah, that. Listen, hold on, stop it. Stop it. No, don't. I'm going to unconfuse you. Hold on. The Super Bowl played on February is for the 2007 season.
But they were in the Super Bowl in 2000.
Okay, so hold on. Listen. The next season starts August 2008. In September, he breaks his leg. The 2008 Super Bowl is played February 2009.
Yeah,
so the 2008 season. Yeah, the 2008 season is you're not. There is no confusion. If you're still confused, that's more of a you thing. The timeline is simple. The 2007 season starts in August. The Super Bowl is played in February 2008. The 2008 season starts in August, and the Super Bowl for 2008 is played February 2009. It's super simple. Where the connection is lost is the calendar year. The NFL season does not follow the calendar year. They follow their own calendar year.
So they got this so messed up. They haven't. Well, I'm just saying the website I'm listed at has the 2009 season as the 2008 season and 2008 season as 2007.
Yeah, that's probably because they've got some stupid ass AI written program that nobody proofread.
I was like, how could they? I know they won a Super Bowl before the Brady thing happened. I was like, why are they calling?
Well, I mean, that season, Tom Brady was also the MVP.
They went by the date and called the date the season. Talk about stupid. That's why you people should not be using AI. There's a prime reason right there.
You just have to proofread it.
I just got confused, even though the facts are the facts and they don't change. This isn't a Mandela effect here. Charles and I are reading the same thing and reading it backwards.
Yeah. You weren't wrong.
I was just reading off date.
Yeah. Your pillow's fallen. Kitchen pillow.
Yeah, it's this stuff. It's just a little pilly. Just a little pilly here.
Yeah, that's a cool ass thing. That's a cool ass thing.
Yeah.
So all right. Let's get back to this code. I love our side trips sometimes. I do.
Wait a minute. What the hell's going on here? I wasn't judging anything that was going on. I was just like, why are they doing this?
No. We had to look that up because, like I said, I remember the year they lost Tom Brady. They didn't make the playoffs. Now it ended up being pretty significant. So maybe my side trek about that's when Bill started asking himself, "Can I win without Brady?" Right, because you go 11-5, but you don't control your own destiny. Do you control it with Tom Brady? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that going to make you think the entire time? Hell no, you went 11-5, and two other teams at 11-5 didn't lose either. Nothing you can do about that, I guess. Losing to the Miami Dolphins at the beginning of the season, though, that may have been the kicker. But you went 11-5. They went 11-5, and you went 11-5. So with Tom Brady back for game 3, does the regular season streak continue? If you ask Tom, he says yes.
I'm assuming they were at home for that game. They lost on the road, I'm assuming. And at home with Brady? Oh, man. Yeah, let's bet against Brady. Mm-hmm. Okay, come on, people.
That's like betting against Patrick Mahomes.
Right? Yeah, we can get into that, too, at the end. But we talked about this with Paul and Mike. All right, the Dan Quinn thing. Are you about as confused as this hire is me? I mean, I guess I'm not confused.
I guess I'm confused because there's more blanks in the information than I realized. One thing NFL front offices and executives do really well, and you don't hear this often from big name media, because if I'm going to tell you that we don't hear shit from the front offices of NFL, it's all speculation that either leads to something close to what was being said or nothing at all. So in this scenario, like, what's up with Eric? Right? What's up with Eric Benamy?
Here's the thing. I'm bringing up we'll go back to this, but this is the only thing I wanted to address. I've been looking at the coaching grade thing, and here's NFL or CBSSports.com 2024 NFL head coaching hires grades. The first thing that comes up: Commanders get D+ for Dan Quinn. Chargers get an A for Jim Harbaugh. Why? Swinging coaching energy. And they're like, and I get that. Hiring Harbaugh is going to bring a lot of energy to your team. Everybody's upbeat, happy. It's going to be a plus.
But only one team was in the running for Harbaugh. I don't understand where these writers are thinking.
Well, Dan Quinn is not a flashy.
No, I can see that. Dan Quinn definitely doesn't go on stage and reference the Shawshank Redemption, which is literally a subcontext for the dude broke out of prison and escaped scot-free and lived his best life on a beach.
Right. Yep.
Which could arguably be Jim Harbaugh escaping the NCAA for a beach in LA. All right. So you're not going to get that from Dan Quinn. No, you're not. But Dan Quinn took the Atlanta Falcons to the Super Bowl, and then the Atlanta Falcons have done nothing since. Right. And you got a bunch of breakdowns happen. Well, Kyle Shanahan was a part of that breakdown offensively and arguably one of the main reasons. And it wasn't Dan Quinn, the head coach, that cost him that. It was Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, that cost him that. So, I mean, Dan Quinn, the head coach, takes a team to the Super Bowl. I like the hire. I would have liked Eric more, but I mean, after everything was said and done, and two of the big things for me, bro, is Eric and Ben Johnson here. I think the Washington Commanders got left with Dan Quinn because Eric bit the bag, I guess, in his one and only interview he had. And then Ben Johnson, there are now multiple reports that Ben Johnson is just a diva and he belongs in Detroit. So we got to hope that marriage works out beautifully, because as soon as the Ford family finds out, hey, wait a minute, he's asking for too much money out there, we don't have to give him this much money anymore, you're going to run into an issue there. So
I guess I run into an issue with Quinn because he's a 500 coach, and he's had almost 100 games of coaching.
Right.
And usually you get 100 games.
Well, Raheem Morris is worse, way worse.
Well,
I mean, you have Bill Belichick over Raheem Morris. If we're talking stats, if we're talking statistics, you know what I mean. You got to give Atlanta a D- if you're giving Washington a D+. Where they got Atlanta?
All right, I'll give you I'm gonna look it up again.
Yeah, bring that up. I mean, if they don't have Atlanta at a D-, but they got Washington at a D+, Washington has a Super Bowl coach, right? And a well-proven defensive coach, arguably. I mean, you can yell about the run all you want, but there's a lot of teams struggling with the run right now.
Obviously, we get Harbaugh's got an A.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn got the D+. Raheem Morris. All right, ready for it?
Yeah.
They gave him a B.
Whoever wrote that list is the same person who said two of the best spots to retire is LA and New York. F them, bro. You lost me. You lost. Not even a C. You lost me. Raheem Morris has like a 24-49 record as a head coach in the NFL. His last coaching experience was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you know who replaced him? Bruce Arians.
Here's the kicker. They gave Mike McDonald a B and gave that guy a B+. So that's all you need to know about that article.
That is just terrible.
I would give an A- for the Mike McDonald post.
I can see a B+ for McDonald because he hasn't proven himself as a head coach. Right. He's proven himself as a coach, but maybe not a head coach. I can see a B+. Maybe you leave the A's for proven coaches. But if you're going to give Harbaugh an A, how do you not give Dan Quinn the same grade? Because Harbaugh has done the same thing Dan Quinn has done. He made it to a Super Bowl and lost. Dan Quinn made it to a Super Bowl and lost. So if you're basing this entire grade off of the personality of an individual in the media room, you're terrible at your job. Maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah. But Harbaugh
has a better winning percentage, but who's been in the NFL longer? Harbaugh just spent the last 9 years as a college football coach. You know, so if we mirror these projections over, you're talking Harbaugh in San Diego. He's not going to have a great 2 years. His third year should be pretty good.
You don't even have to mirror it. I mean, we're going to get one season and you're going to have all these people talking again. It's going to become this weird coaching carousel.
Good news for Washington and LA and these other teams is that you've got teams like Dallas and Philadelphia walking into the season with the media already screaming about their head coaches, although the entire organization is backing the head coaches. So I don't understand where these media come off with these scenarios. I don't get it. You're a 12-5 head coach. You have the second most or the most NFC championship appearances. It's like this Doc Rivers shit, Oh, well, he's 6-7 in game sevens, He's played 13 game sevens. You got to get there to play those games. You got to be pretty good to play those games.
Well, you can't just blame a coach for the players not performing either. I think that's
absolutely, absolutely. So I mean that's really what it boils down to. I like the Dan Quinn hire, considering everything else. I would not like the Bill Belichick hire. That's what it boils down to. I would not. I would not like the Bill Belichick hire. I think he's chasing his wins. You're only going to get 2 or 3 years out of the guy. If I'm an owner looking at a revamped organization or the potential of a Super Bowl, I'm not risking it on 2 years for a guy who's done nothing over the last 6.
But I guess that brings into question, why not Vrabel over Dan Quinn?
And here's the scenario too with the front offices thing. There's 32 front offices in the NFL. If you piss one off, the other 31 know about it and how it happened, why it happened, and where they went with it and how they got there. So whatever that scenario is, has more or less diminished Vrabel's ability to pursue a head coaching option this year. I think him and Belichick will take a year off. I believe they'll take the Mike McCarthy route. If they want to get back into the NFL, they'll have to change who they are as an NFL personality.
Here's the thing of all the places that I guess I feel bad for Dan Campbell because he's going into a shitty organization. Washington is a terrible
Dan Quinn. Yeah. No, yeah. I was like, I feel bad for Campbell too. Why? What's up?
No, I feel bad for that. That whole situation is
I do too. I do too. But again, too, though, I feel the same way for Harbaugh. The same feelings.
Aren't they just the West Coast lovable losers? I mean, can we just call them that?
Yeah. I mean, you're in an organization with the Kansas City Chiefs, who this year are rebuilding. The Chargers are in an organization, or the Chargers are in a division with the Chiefs, and this year is the Chiefs rebuilding year. That's what people don't. It's crazy to me that people don't talk about that enough. This was the Kansas City Chiefs rebuilding year, and they're back in the Super Bowl after being there last year. Their offensive coordinator rehaul, coaches rehaul, a bunch of rookies on that offense, a few defensive holes that needed to be filled and got filled, and Kansas City's back in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they've
in the Super Bowl.
They're not going to be able to reload. They've handcuffed themselves just like the Rams have with
that's
like they owe way too much money to these people.
No. Bro, that's what I'm telling you. That was this year. They're done with it now.
I don't think I think they're strapped for cash for a couple more seasons. I don't think they can just pick people up.
What? But I'm saying they don't need to. The players they now have, they've retained. At worst case scenario, you might have somebody retire like Kelsey.
Well,
then the rest of them, are young.
Yeah, they're in deep shit if Kelsey's gone. He's
absolutely. You remember me yelling at the beginning of the season. All you have to do is disguise how you're double teaming Kelsey.
Yeah, let's get into this. Okay, let's just for humor. Yeah. Who do you replace Kelsey with? Because we know that they're going to be in the playoffs, regardless if Kelsey's there or not. They got Patrick Mahomes.
Who did the Patriots replace Gronk with? It's just not something you do.
No. But I'm just saying, like, would you think they'd be drafting somebody if Kelsey retires? Are they gonna try?
They'll definitely draft, but when he retires, it'll open up some cap space. And who wouldn't want to catch the ball with Patrick Mahomes?
No shit, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I mean, that'll open up. That's just like. That would kind of just be like the Pete Carroll thing coming out of nowhere, right? We're not going to hear names for Seattle because you didn't think about names for Seattle because you didn't think Pete Carroll was going to be gone. So, like, even in the draft, right? Like, we've got a draft board. If Travis Kelce retires, we got a new draft board. You know what I mean? Maybe 1, maybe 2 doesn't change, but if you won the Super Bowl, I mean, you're down to 31, 32. You're going to be taking you're going to be taking the same thing they take. They're going to take an offensive lineman.
I think the only way Kelsey doesn't come back is if they don't win the Super Bowl and he runs it back one more season, because I think he wants to retire with his brother. I know that's kind of like a conspiracy thing, but I heard that one lady,
bro, they love each other, man. Those two, they've played football together their whole lives. They've been in the system their whole lives. And
just run this out, man. One last season, one last game.
Kelsey, the one's gone, but I don't think that's a conspiracy as much as it is just a random observation.
No, the conspiracy is that the lady, some lady interviewed him, and he said that to her, that we'd like to retire together. And well, Jason's already retired, so how can you retire together if the other one's still playing? So I think is that he's like, yeah, we like to retire together. So basically, he's saying, I'd like to win a Super Bowl and retire, is basically what he probably was saying. Oh. And she took that, and she actually said
when was the interview though?
During the playoffs.
Oh, this year? I don't know. Yeah.
That's the conspiracy, is that it's not really a conspiracy. It's that, did she leak a comment that he had said to her, which, obviously you should keep that shit to yourself, but
I guess ultimately with the internet, when it comes down to the two biggest celebrities in the world right now, I'm not going to believe shit unless it comes out of their mouth.
Well, no, to put this in perspective. Say you and I were to get big enough where we had 500,000 people that listened, and you and I were like had a conversation on the phone, and one of our guests was on listening to us, and they're like, "Damn, that's some spicy stuff," like Barstool, and they're just like, they go talk to some other guest or something and said, yeah, I heard that those guys are going to sign a $20 million deal. And that's how quick that stuff leaks. You know as well as I do. Like,
well, I do, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, I guess the position I'm taking on this is that whoever may or may not have leaked this is utilizing an opportunity to get their name out. They threw a bunch of smoke, misquoted a small line in a conversation to get recognized.
I think she's pretty big. I thought she was an NFL reporter, NFL.com or whatever. I thought she was big.
We just found out they make up shit on the sidelines anyways. So
that we should have got into that. That makes me laugh. The fact that she was like literally saying that like she didn't even talk to like the coaches, and she would just make up shitty sideline report.
But that's, I mean, it's impossible for me not to take that position just due to it having to do with Taylor Swift. Right. I mean, if you tagging something #Swifty is almost the same thing as tagging it #cricket fever, which is one of the wildest hashtags you can get. As long as you're talking anything about cricket, if you put #cricket fever on that shit, it goes whack.
Did I tell you about what happened with X? Somebody did some AI thing and like got naked pictures of her doing like really nasty stuff inside the Kansas City Chiefs. Like it's all AI, and now you can't even search like anything Taylor Swift. So if anybody out there, don't tag anything with Taylor Swift on X, because you're not gonna Swifty Kelsey, you're not gonna be able to like search it. So just a heads up. Stupid people. Why even do nasty, weird?
Well, that's an X situation. It's not X's fault. But
no.
You've got a bunch of people. Yeah, you got a bunch of people trying to like really dename X and all that. Yeah, absolutely. You got some
and people too. Like she don't deserve that. I mean, that's messed up, man. I don't understand.
I mean, ultimately, when it comes down to it, don't show me Taylor Swift every 45 seconds. That was too much. But two, like, why the hell are you showing me some chick up in a booth enjoying life, watching her boyfriend play a game? Why? Well, no, I know why they're doing it. I know who's doing it also. It's not the NFL. It's not the commentators. It's the bigwigs at ABC, NBC, CBS, right? I know who's doing it, but that's the question I'm asking them specifically. Why?
How much pull do you think the NFL has with the rights? They've got to be getting money from it as well.
No, God, no. Well, it's product. No, but the thing is that how these media contracts work, right? Like, just because during this 5-year stretch, something happened that made you more money doesn't mean I'm going to get more money because of it. I get a base money, and then whatever you make off of my product, you keep. So I'm going to take 20% of, and then, right, like how they probably have it written in is like that. They probably don't have a set number, right? I'm not making $6 billion a year. I'm making 20% of, I'm making 20% of what you make. So if that was the case, then yes, they're absolutely making more money because of it.
But well, we know somehow the Chiefs made more money off of it.
Well, that had to do with jersey sales. That had to do with jersey. That had to do with jersey sales.
$300 million in jersey sales?
No. 331.5 million combined. The NFL / Kansas City organization.
I thought it just said Kansas City Chiefs.
No. Oh God, no. The NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs organization combined made an estimated 331.5 million more.
That brings in viewership. You're talking ticket sales went up for every game that she went.
And if you listen to Andy Reid talk too, I mean, you do. You've got a bunch of young ladies out there learning about the NFL with an opportunity to
100 million followers as well. I mean, that right there just screams you're gonna be able to do whatever you want. She could fart and put it in a jar and probably sell it for 150 grand.
Yeah. I mean, the one dude who just got caught stalking her would definitely have taken that jar.
The crazy thing about that is they keep letting that guy out. Why?
I know.
No, and he keeps trying to break into her house or some weird shit. Like
literally,
bad for him or something.
Put him in a hospital. For the love of God, put him in a fucking hospital.
The guy needs some help.
Let's put him in a fucking hospital. It's not that hard. Put him in a hospital.
Yeah,
we got a lot of them. You put me in a hospital.
Put him in jail. Let him read the Bible or something. You know, make him not think about Taylor for 10 minutes.
Seriously,
you know,
send him to one of those camps.
Yeah,
you know. What was that video? I'm not gay anymore. Send him to one of those camps.
I'm not gay anymore. Yeah.
Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Nobody wants to say it out loud, but we all know what I'm talking about.
Wow. Charles Hill, the new TV series.
You know, but I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting for the NFL. I think the most exciting part about it is the amount of young ladies who have taken an interest in the NFL, regardless. Okay, we're not going to keep them all, but
no. If you like, what did they say? If they could retain like 3%,
if you could retain 3% of the initial push,
because you know she brought probably 10 million views.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. Seeing a bunch of, you know, the big thing is all you hunky burly men out there better watch out, because you're gonna be heading to the bars talking to women about sports, and they're gonna put you under the fucking table with the knowledge they have.
Right.
So be ready for that.
Yeah, when they start looking into this stuff, they get fucking dedicated. So you better watch out. They're gonna.
I'm saying, yeah. They hold a grudge for a really long time. How do you think they hold it? They do things well. All right.
Yeah.
Women. They get shit figured out. So
if you walk into a bar and you see a woman wearing a Kelsey jersey, and you're thinking in your head, I should go over there and talk to that woman. Rethink that before you decide to go over there.
Pull up Google and pull up some facts real quick. Ensure that you don't sound like an idiot.
Be over there schooling your ass on sports trivia.
I guess we've attempted to talk about coaches all episode. This has been fantastic. To wrap up the little.
We talked about the only important ones anyway.
But to wrap up the coaching things, the stories I'm most interested in, Carolina and Washington. I'm going to be interested to see how that goes. Dan Quinn's a good coach, and Carolina's got a
Canales, I think his name is
for Carolina. Well done. I've got no idea.
I believe it is. I believe he was Tampa Bay's like defensive coordinator or something. The Carolina's head coach.
Yeah. Well, I have faith in the GM there. In Carolina's GM,
Dave Canales.
There. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. That's pretty interesting. Obviously, the Chargers scenario.
And like you said it earlier, they just dropped the average age of the head coach by getting, even Quinn's 53 or 54. So they just dropped the average age down to like 40 by hiring all these younger guys.
By a lot. I mean, Mike McDonald's now the youngest coach in the NFL. So head coach in the NFL.
Right. It's a culture thing, like you said. And I appreciate that things are changing, and it's going to be interesting to see how they draft.
Well, you see what these young minds are doing on the field, bro.
Yeah.
You see the motioned offense, the designs, the, I mean, it's.
Yeah, the schemes are definitely changing. The way that they
the
coach.
The NFL's younger, and these veteran locker rooms, they can handle these veteran coaches, but these younger locker rooms, it's not mixing well, and we're seeing that.
Yeah,
we're seeing that. Even Joe Barry, I mean, as much as we want to talk about it, he fit with the players well for the most part. Okay, towards the end here, regardless, I've heard a few reports of some players saying, "Oh, Joe Barry was well liked in the locker room." Well, that report and all the shit coming out on social media leading up to the last few weeks of the season, two completely different reports. Okay, so when you got players screaming about how they're not playing through injuries anymore, blah, 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 you've only got two options. These were defensive players. So it's either the DC or the head coach. And obviously Matt LaFleur wasn't the problem.
Correct.
So back off. We were talking about millionaires here. They're fucking fine. The amount of compassion for the top 10% coming from a demographic who over 45% is medically uninsured is befuddling to me.
You want to know the other thing too is that they act like Barry's not ever going to get another NFL job. He's young. He's not
going to get another NFL job. He could go get a coach. I heard Boston College needs a new head coach.
Speaking of Boston College, guess what? They're dipping into the Ohio State pot where they came to get their head coach. There's this big weird thing with Ryan Day and Ohio State. That would be hilarious if all of a sudden Bill O'Brien's like, "Nah, I'm going to
the Ohio Marlins."
No, the Ohio Marlins. Yes,
the Ohio Marlins.
Marlins. Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you guys have not caught the Paul Feinbaum little episode that I posted,
man, if you guys aren't catching the Paul Feinbaum show,
it's good right now.
The callers make the show, man. The callers make the show.
I want to call in as the Boys in the Woods podcast between the two of us and just have a conversation with Paul. Yeah, we should try that. We'll try to do a live on air call in to one of these shows one of these days. I think Paul would be
You're live on the air. No, you're live on the air, Paul. Yes. No, you're live on the air, Paul. Yeah, that'd be funny. But go ahead.
So you call them the Miami or Marlins. The Ohio Marlins. Yes. Yeah, and if you guys don't understand it, the Marlins won a World Series by basically purchasing all of the high-profile players.
Overpaying for all the high-profile players. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's worked out really, really well for them since. They've got to, I mean, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It's crazy to me that people like Maurice Clarett and Ohio State can go around and do all of this. I mean, I'm guessing these schools where these kids were signing up to draft day and all these cars, they're actually getting in trouble. The investigations have been opened up, especially into Tennessee.
Deep shit, yeah.
Yeah. So, and you want to hear people scream, "Oh, you should have heard the SEC screaming about Michigan." It's like y'all don't get it. Like, you call it cheating, and that's the word you're hooked on. But
yeah,
everybody is cheating on this freeway that you're specifically talking about. Now, this other freeway, that was a brand new exit, and these motherfuckers are breaking through that exit. You're about to find out. I'm gonna laugh. I mean, if it's true, Tennessee might end up like what's that, SMU or whatever the hell that
penalty they're gonna get. I think the NCAA is gonna have a lot more on their hands than looking into Michigan's how much they paid for tickets.
Well, this
his iPhone at the freaking game to record the sidelines. I'm sorry, but I think they got bigger problems.
Oh, it did because it opened up a huge hole into the side building of the NCAA. I mean, you came after Michigan like Michigan was stealing babies and sending them off to an island. It was crazy to me.
Ohio State will probably be the next one on their radar.
Oh,
and Alabama.
Ohio State's hard on their radar already. It's. I mean, the amount of money they're getting
coming soon to crazy. A podcast near you. Charles and I will be breaking news on the Ohio State Marlins.
Yeah, I'm talking 2 seasons. I'm talking 2 seasons.
2 seasons. Maybe next season, yeah.
You know the best part about this, right?
Yeah.
The best part about this, I guess we can end it on this.
Yeah, go for it.
Has Ohio State ever not had great players?
No, I don't believe they.
I mean, every year they have a multitude of 5-star recruits, just great ass fucking players, right?
Even before the NIL, yeah.
Even before the NIL, nobody's ever questioned if Ohio State was recruiting well or not.
No.
But you know what happens? Their head fucking coach gets them into the same goddamn mess he gets them in every other time, and then you got kids on the sideline crying because Crying Ryan couldn't get it done again.
Those coaching kids and coaches.
I mean, look at. Do you see this writing here? It's pretty solidified. Okay, so when writing gets put on the wall, it wasn't just thrown there magically. The writing is put on the wall by an institution, person, player, other than something else or what, continues the same fucking story over and over and over again.
Yeah.
If you look at that and expect change, that's your damn problem. I don't think it could be anybody else's problem. But for the rest of you out there, go ahead.
No, like saying organic growth.
Yeah.
Build your team organically. Recruit organically. Tell the kids the truth. Stop lying to them and stop paying for recruits.
That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I mean, the players aren't the problem. It's the coach. I guess if you're Ohio State, right? I mean,
right.
The only option you have is to buy every big name player out there and pay out the ass for your program in a non-pay for play sport like college football and spend millions and millions of dollars because you've lost the last 3 years horrendously when every year you're projected to win for some god-awful reason. And your head coach just lets you down. No second half adjustments ever made. He puts way too much pressure on young kids, and he continues to put the same fucking product on the field like he's some young punk. Ryan Day is not the parent you want. Ryan Day's the parent you need, right? Ryan Day's like that cool kid parent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he's not the one that's going to fucking punish you or get you on the path you belong to, but he's definitely going to be the one who cracks a beer with you in the garage because I'd rather have you drinking here with me than out there on the streets dead. So, yeah, he's a cool guy.
Like I said, Lane Kiffin and Paul Feinbaum both said it. I sure hope you guys gave these kids receipts for all that cash you gave them. Because Uncle Sam's coming. Uncle Sam's coming hard.
You bet your ass. You bet your ass. Because the thing is that in order for that university to maintain its tax status, any dimes
has to be accounted for.
Has to be accounted for on that organization. So if you think somehow or another you're going to find money that, you know, it's going to be hilarious because you will get a 30 for 30 film. Right. I'm talking. The projection of this is Charles, not the glory of the top of a mountain. It's more the 90 Miami Hurricanes.
Charles, this is what one of the Ohio fans got into with me on Twitter about that. It's paid through a collective. It could be a donation. I said, I don't know on what planet you freaking think that giving NIL money as a donation isn't going to be audited by
it doesn't matter. Even if it is a gift or a donation, if it's over $1,500 not from a family member, you have to report it.
I'm like, how dumb can you possibly be?
We'll blame the American education system on that one because finances should be taught in school, especially your basic 1040s. But yeah.
Shout out Eddie Gorton, the principal of comedy.
The principle of comedy. But yeah, I mean, your basic 1040, it even tells you, did you receive any gift/donation this year totaling more than X amount of dollars? Although if you just go to the irs.gov/free file, you can find all this information readily available.
There's your daily news bite by Charles.
Yeah, the .gov websites are cool, especially if you know how to navigate them. If you don't, look for your state's local navigator. Each state has one. Some states have two. They're there to help you. You can also find all of our cool shit at boysinthewoods906.shop. That's boysinthewoods906.shop. And for all of you out there continuing to listen, click like, subscribe, comment, we appreciate you. We appreciate you sharing. We appreciate you caring. We appreciate you for being you. We care that you're here with us today, maybe tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, just as long as you're here. The world is a better place because you're in it.